Have you ever caught yourself thinking, man, I just don't have the energy for anything anymore? And I'm not talking about the usual Monday blues, but that deep sense that life has turned into an endless, do it later. The daily grind feels heavier. Relationships seem to drain more than they add. And even those things you used to love just don't spark joy like they used to. Sound familiar? Well, my friend, you might be going through a personal energy crisis. But don't worry, you're not alone. Let's dive into how this energy drain affects our lives and, more importantly, how to turn things around now. Let's talk about something that might sound a bit mystical, but is actually pure science. Energy. Have you ever considered that everything around us, including ourselves, is pure energy? And no, I'm not just talking about the kind that powers your house. I'm talking about an energy that's in everything, all the time. Remember Einstein? That genius with the wild hair? He already told us, matter and energy are two sides of the same coin. This means that at the core, everything is a vibration, constantly moving. And guess what? Quantum physics. Yeah, that complex stuff that feels like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie backs this up. So, if everything is energy, including us, wouldn't it be cool if we could learn to work with this energy a little better? Let me tell you about someone who might sound familiar, John. No, you probably don't know him personally, but his story might remind you of yourself or someone you know. John had a friendly smile, but his eyes, they were always tired. His life had turned into a never-ending loop. Wake up, gulp down some coffee, head to a job that didn't bring him any joy, and come back home to a situation that wasn't much better. His partner, Sarah, was always unhappy, complaining about everything. Day after day, John found his energy slipping away. But then something unexpected happened that changed everything for John. One day, during a quick coffee break at work, John stumbled upon a book in a bookstore. The title, Reality Transurfing. Ever heard of it? Neither had he. But something about those words struck a chord. You are the creator of your own life, the cover said. John started wondering, am I really to blame for this boring life I'm living? And more importantly, can I change it? So, he bought the book and began reading it in secret to avoid Sarah's criticisms. And as he flipped through the pages, he realized that he had let go of the steering wheel of his life, handing control over to others. But then came the big question. How do I take that control back? Now that John was determined to make a change, he began to understand that energy isn't just one thing. Imagine your life as a car. It doesn't just have one fuel tank, but several. There's the tank of physical energy, which gives you the strength to get moving. The tank of mental energy, which keeps your thoughts clear. The tank of emotional energy, which colors your feelings. And the tank of spiritual energy, which gives your life a deeper sense of purpose. And like any car, if one of these tanks runs dry, the ride's going to get bumpy. John discovered that to live an energized life, he needed to learn how to fill up all these tanks. And not just that, but also how to protect his fuel from leaking out. How? Well, he didn't know that yet. But the first step was understanding where his energy came from and where it was going. Before we continue, share this with someone who you feel needs to get their sparkle back in life, or even with someone who doesn't even realize how worn out they are. Sometimes, a simple gesture can be the boost that this person so desperately needs. Maybe you'll be the spark that ignites their energy again. So, John was getting the hang of this whole energy thing. But then, he ran into a problem that a lot of us face: energy vampires. And no, I'm not talking about those creepy creatures from horror movies. I'm talking about the people and situations in our lives that just seem to suck the life out of us. Ever hang out with someone and leave feeling completely drained? Or maybe you're in a job that just feels like it's sucking your soul dry. These are your energy vampires, my friend. In the world of transurfing, these are known as pendulums, energetic structures that feed off our attention and energy. Whether it's a toxic relationship, social norms that don't resonate with you, or even bad habits, these pendulums can drag us down. But the good news is, once you spot them, you can start taking your power back. It's all about setting boundaries, saying no when you need to, and choosing to focus your energy on what truly matters to you. Now that John was starting to understand where his energy was going, it was time to learn how to direct it. This is where intention comes in. Think of it like this: your energy is a bow, and your intention is the arrow. To hit your target, whether that's a goal, a dream, or just a better way of living, you need both strength and precision. In transurfing, intention isn't just about wishing for something. It's about believing that it's already yours. It's like the difference between saying, "I want to be successful," and saying, "My work brings me joy and prosperity." See the shift? It's all about clarity and focus. The more specific and charged your intention is, the more energy you put into it, and the quicker it becomes reality. And hey, science backs this up too. Studies show that visualization and positive affirmations can really help you achieve your goals. But remember, intention without action is just a daydream. So, John started making small steps toward his goals, keeping his focus sharp and his energy aligned. With his intention set, John began to experience something new: the flow of energy. Imagine you're floating down a river. You could fight against the current, struggling and exhausting yourself, or you could let go and trust the flow, enjoying the ride. This is what it means to live in the flow of energy. It's about aligning yourself with what truly lights you up and following that path with ease. When you're doing what you love, spending time with people who inspire you, and living according to your values, you're naturally in this flow. And guess what? That's when the magic happens. You start to feel more alive, more connected, and more in tune with the world around you. It's not just a nice idea. It's a deep truth. When you stop living according to other people's expectations and start living your own life, you tap into an unlimited source of energy from the universe itself. Remember those moments when you felt totally in sync with what you were doing, like everything just clicked? That's the flow, and that's where John was heading. As John continued on this path, he began to transform. He started saying no to the things that drained him, and yes, to the things that filled him with energy. He reconnected with his old passions, like playing the guitar and spending time in nature. And something amazing happened. He stopped letting Sarah's constant complaints get to him. Instead, he focused on what made him feel alive.